In the beginning there was nothing. No light, no land, no sky, only an endless, chaotic void. From this abyss, the universe was born, not through peace, but through unimaginable strife and conflict. A world sculpted by gods, titans, and monsters. Before the gods of Olympus, before Zeus and his mighty thunderbolts, there existed forces older, more powerful, and far more terrifying, who created the earth, who brought the heavens to life, and what ancient powers clashed in the primordial darkness to shape the world as we know it. Join us as we journey back to the very origin of existence to uncover the secrets, the power struggles, and the untold myths that shaped our world. This is not just a story of gods. This is the story of creation, forged in chaos. In the ancient world, stories were more than just tales told around a fire. They were the foundation of understanding, the very framework that shaped reality. And in no place was this truer than in Greece. Greek mythology, an intricate tapestry of gods, monsters, and titanic battles, was far more than legend. It was the heartbeat of ancient Greek culture, a living narrative passed down through generations, explaining the incomprehensible forces of nature and the cosmos itself. Greek mythology was not just a collection of stories. It was a complex system of beliefs, interwoven into the very fabric of Greek life. These myths permeated every aspect of their existence: religion, politics, war, and even the stars above. But why did these ancient people place such significance on these stories? What did they see in them that still resonates today? In an era before science, before technology could explain the natural world, the Greeks looked to their myths. These were not just fables, they were explanations. Stories of gods controlling the weather, of titans shaping the earth, of mighty heroes battling impossible odds. Myths were the ancient Greeks' way of understanding life itself. From the origins of mankind to the unpredictable forces of nature, these stories answered the unanswerable. They were more than mere entertainment. They were explanations for the inexplicable. Why do the seasons change? Why do volcanoes erupt? Why does the sun rise each morning and fall each night? In every question, there was a myth, a god, and a purpose. At the heart of these stories are the texts that have survived the passage of time. Hesiod's Theogony, a detailed account of the creation of the cosmos and the genealogy of the gods, remains one of the most important sources of ancient Greek mythology. Alongside it, Homer's epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey, bring the stories of gods and men to life in a brutal and poetic form, illustrating the tension between fate and free will, mortality and immortality. These texts, treasures of human history, are the foundation of our understanding of Greek mythology. They are not just stories, they are windows into a world where the divine and the mortal are inseparable, where gods influence every aspect of human life, and where heroes strive against both destiny and death. Before the heavens and the earth, before gods or men, there was only chaos, a boundless, infinite void, stretching in every direction, cold and formless. In the beginning, there was no light, no land, no sky, just an eternal emptiness, an abyss beyond comprehension. It is from this primordial darkness that all things would eventually be born. But chaos was not mere nothingness. It was raw potential, unfathomable and formless energy, teetering on the edge of creation and destruction. From this chasm of oblivion would arise the first beings, ancient forces beyond the understanding of mortals, powers that would shape everything to come. From the depths of chaos came the birth of the primordial deities. First among them was Gaia, Mother Earth, the foundation of all life. She rose from the void, vast and unshakable, the source of fertility and stability, destined to be the cradle of gods, men, and monsters alike. But Gaia was not alone. From the same chaotic void emerged Tartarus, the deep, shadowy abyss. Tartarus was not just a place, it was a force, the dark pit of torment and imprisonment, a yawning chasm that would eventually hold the mightiest of beings. Then came Erebus, the embodiment of darkness, and Nyx, the mysterious and foreboding night. Together, they cloaked the universe in shadow, concealing the still-forming cosmos beneath a veil of eternal gloom. Yet amidst this darkness, there was something else. Eros, the primordial force of love. Unlike the others, Eros was not an entity of destruction or shadow, but of creation, a binding force. His presence would ensure that the elements of the universe, chaos, light, dark, could come together, giving birth to harmony and, ultimately, life. Out of this maelstrom of chaos, the seeds of order began to take root. The primordial deities, each a force of raw power, began to shape the universe, piece by piece. Gaia, the earth, became the bedrock of existence, while Tartarus formed the great underworld beneath her. Erebus and Nyx cloaked the universe in mystery and shadow, while Eros, the force of attraction, pulled it all together, weaving the first threads of the cosmos. It was a delicate balance between order and chaos, between creation and destruction. Though the universe had begun to take shape, it was far from peaceful. The forces that emerged from chaos would set the stage for countless conflicts to come, as the cosmos struggled to maintain this fragile equilibrium. But in the beginning, it all started here, with the dance of these ancient, primordial powers. From the chaotic void of nothingness, a force of life and creation emerged, Gaia, the earth herself. She was not merely soil and rock, but a living, breathing presence, the mother of all that was and all that would be. Gaia, the great mother, nurturer of life, became the foundation upon which the cosmos would be built. With her immense power, she brought forth the first stirrings of creation, birthing the land, the seas, and the very essence of life itself. Gaia was more than the earth beneath our feet. She was the origin of all life, the eternal source from which gods and mortals alike would spring. But even the nurturing mother could not exist alone in the vast expanse of the universe. She needed a counterpart, someone to balance the earth beneath with the sky above. And so, from within Gaia herself, came Uranus, the sky. Born of the earth, he stretched across the heavens, an eternal guardian, wrapping Gaia in his celestial embrace. Together, they were bound earth and sky, two forces intertwined to shape the universe. But their union was more than symbolic. It was from this joining that the first gods, the Titans, would be born. From their union came the Titans, the first divine rulers of the cosmos. These ancient, towering beings represented raw elemental forces, vast, untamed, and destined to shape the universe in their image. Their power would become the foundation upon which the world's future battles, both cosmic and earthly, would be fought. With Gaia and Uranus' union came the formation of the physical world. Mountains rose like jagged, unmovable sentinels, and vast seas stretched endlessly beneath the sky's watchful eye. The earth itself was shaped by Gaia's nurturing hand, while Uranus covered it with the endless expanse of stars and the boundless heavens. The physical world, oceans, mountains, the sky, had taken form, a reflection of the divine order created by these primordial beings. But even in this seemingly perfect creation, tensions began to brew. Gaia, the giver of life, would soon see her creation suffer beneath the weight of Uranus' oppressive rule. The stage was set for a cosmic rebellion, one that would shake the heavens and give rise to a new order. But for now, the world had been born. Born from the union of earth and sky, the Titans were the first generation of divine rulers, immense in both power and size. Gaia, the nurturing earth, and Uranus, the vast sky, gave life to these formidable beings. Towering over mountains, their presence alone stirred the very forces of nature. But among them, one stood apart, a figure destined to defy the heavens and seize control of the cosmos. His name was Cronus. Cronus, the youngest and most ambitious of the Titans, was not content to live under the rule of his father, Uranus. Where the other Titans were content to serve, Cronus harbored a burning desire for power, an ambition that would lead to the first great conflict in the history of the universe. Uranus, though the father of the Titans, grew to despise his own children. He saw them not as heirs, but as threats to his eternal rule. He cast them into the depths of the earth, imprisoning them beneath Gaia's surface, hoping to keep their power contained. But the great Earth Mother would not allow her children to be bound forever. Gaia, horrified by Uranus' cruelty, sought to free her children. She turned to Cronus, her boldest son, and gave him the weapon that would alter the course of history. Armed with a sickle forged from the bones of the earth itself, Cronus launched a daring rebellion, a coup that would reverberate across the cosmos. In a violent uprising, Cronus overthrew Uranus, severing his father's power and taking control of the cosmos. The heavens trembled as the first generational conflict unfolded, the first act of rebellion in a universe still finding its shape. Cronus, now crowned as the ruler of the world, had begun a new era, the Age of the Titans. But Cronus did not rule alone. From Gaia and Uranus' union came a host of other titans, each with their own immense power. Oceanus, the god of the vast, encircling seas, controlled the waters of the earth. Hyperion, the titan of light, wielded the power of the sun, while Iapetus, the father of future generations, stood as a symbol of mortality and human destiny. These titans represented the primal forces of the universe, the building blocks of creation. Oceanus' waters surged through the ancient seas, while Hyperion's light brought the first rays of dawn to the newborn earth. Under their rule, the cosmos began to take form, structured, yet still raw and untamed. But even as Cronus took the throne, a dark prophecy loomed. Just as he had overthrown Uranus, it was foretold that one day, one of Cronus' own children would rise to overthrow him. The Age of the Titans was marked not only by their immense power, but by an ever-present fear of the future, of a cycle of rebellion and retribution that could not be stopped. The rule of Cronus, mighty king of the Titans, was forged in blood and betrayal. But with power came paranoia. A prophecy, whispered by the fates, cast a long shadow over his reign. It foretold that one day, just as Cronus had overthrown his own father, one of his children would rise to overthrow him. Fear consumed the mighty Titan, for he knew the cycle of rebellion was inevitable. But he was determined to stop it at any cost. To defy the prophecy, Cronus took a brutal and unimaginable step. One by one, as his wife Rhea bore their children, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, Cronus devoured them. In his desperation to prevent his downfall, he consumed his own flesh and blood, hoping to keep the future rebellion sealed within himself. But fate is not so easily escaped. When her sixth child, Zeus, was born, Rhea could no longer bear the horror of Cronus' actions. In secret, she fled, hiding the infant Zeus from his father's ravenous grasp. Deep within the caves of Crete, far from Cronus' gaze, the future king of the gods was hidden, destined to one day rise and challenge the tyrant who had imprisoned his siblings. While Cronus believed he had secured his throne, Zeus was growing, nurtured in secret, guided by the forces of destiny. As the years passed, the young god grew strong, fueled by the knowledge of his father's atrocities. And when the time came, he would not stand alone. The moment of reckoning arrived. Zeus, now a god in his own right, returned to confront Cronus and free his devoured siblings. The Titanomachy, a war unlike any the cosmos had ever seen, was about to begin. On one side stood the Titans, ancient and powerful, led by Cronus. On the other, the Olympians, the new gods led by Zeus, fighting to bring an end to their father's tyranny. For 10 years, the earth trembled as the Titans and Olympians waged war across the cosmos. The heavens burned with fire, the oceans roared, and the very foundations of the earth were shattered under the weight of their battle. But Zeus, wielding the power of the sky and armed with a thunderbolt, fought with a fury born of justice and destiny. Finally, in a climactic battle that shook the very pillars of existence, Zeus confronted Cronus. The king of the Titans, once so invincible, was brought to his knees. The prophecy had come to pass. The son had risen against the father, and with one final, earth-shattering blow, Zeus overthrew Cronus. The reign of the Titans had come to an end. With Cronus' defeat, the Titans were cast down into the abyss of Tartarus, where they would remain imprisoned for eternity. The age of the Titans was over, and in its place, a new order arose, the age of the Olympians. Zeus, now the king of gods, took his place as ruler of the cosmos, bringing balance to a world forged in the fires of war. With the fall of the Titans, the cosmos lay in the hands of a new ruler, Zeus, victorious after the long and bloody Titanomachy, took his place as the undisputed king of the gods. His power, unmatched, extended across the vast reaches of the universe. But his rule was not one of tyranny. Zeus brought order to a world born from chaos, ensuring balance between gods, mortals, and the elements themselves. Zeus' rise to power marked the beginning of a new era, an age where divine law would shape the world, and the Olympian gods would rule with wisdom and might. But Zeus did not rule alone. Beside him stood his siblings, each one a force of nature, each one destined to govern a realm of their own. The Olympian pantheon was born. Zeus' brothers and sisters, once imprisoned in their father's stomach, now emerged as rulers of their own realms, gods of incredible power and influence. Poseidon, god of the seas, controlled the vast and turbulent oceans, his trident a symbol of his dominion over all waters. Hades, god of the underworld, reigned in the shadowed depths, overseeing the realm of the dead and the passage of souls. Hera, queen of the gods and Zeus' wife, became the goddess of marriage and family, her power extending into the mortal world. Demeter, goddess of the harvest, nurtured the earth itself, ensuring the fertility of crops and the cycle of life. And Hestia, the goddess of the hearth, embodied the warmth of the home and the sacred fires that kept civilizations alive. With the rise of the Olympian order, the world was divided among the gods. Zeus, as king, ruled the skies and the heavens, wielding the thunderbolt and commanding the weather. Poseidon claimed dominion over the seas, controlling the tides, storms, and the creatures of the deep. And Hades, though often feared, took his place as ruler of the underworld, where the souls of the dead would dwell for eternity. But this division of power was more than just a geographical order. It was a cosmic balance, ensuring that no single force would dominate. The Olympians ruled not through unchecked power, but through a delicate harmony, with each god playing their part in maintaining the stability of the universe. From the ashes of the Titanomachy, a new world was born, a world ruled by the Olympians, shaped by divine will and cosmic order. But beneath the surface, tensions still brewed. The gods, though mighty, were far from perfect, and their interactions with mortals would lead to conflicts and legends that would echo for millennia. Yet for now, balance had been restored, and the age of the Olympian gods had begun. In the aftermath of the Titanomachy, a new world emerged, one ruled by the Olympians. But the gods were not the only beings to walk the earth. From the hands of Prometheus, a titan who defied the divine order, humanity itself was born. With each stroke of his hand, Prometheus shaped mankind from the very clay of the earth, molding them in the image of the gods, yet granting them a spirit all their own. In a world filled with divine forces, mortals were destined to be fragile, yet filled with limitless potential. But Prometheus knew that humanity needed more than form. They needed the power to survive, a gift the gods had withheld. And so, in a daring act of rebellion, Prometheus ascended to the heavens, stealing fire from the gods themselves and bringing it down to mankind. With fire came knowledge, warmth, and the power to create and destroy. It was the spark that would set humanity apart, and it would come at a terrible cost. Prometheus' defiance would not go unpunished. Zeus, enraged by the theft of fire, sought revenge, not just against Prometheus, but against mankind itself. From this anger came the creation of Pandora, the first woman. Beautiful and beguiling, she was gifted to humanity as a blessing, but with her came a dangerous secret. In her hands, Pandora held a box, a vessel of unimaginable power. And in the moment of curiosity, she unleashed a force that would forever change the fate of mankind. From the box poured forth the evils of the world, disease, sorrow, war, and all the sufferings that would plague humanity for ages to come. In that single act, the innocence of the world was shattered. But even as darkness spread, one thing remained: hope. Trapped at the bottom of the box, the final gift to mankind. A fragile but enduring light in a world now touched by darkness. With the creation of man and the unleashing of evil, the ages of man began. A story not just of survival, but of inevitable decline. The first age, the Golden Age, was a time of peace and prosperity. Mankind lived in harmony with the gods, untouched by suffering, and death came as a peaceful sleep. It was a paradise, but it could not last. Next came the Silver Age, where mankind grew distant from the gods, and arrogance took root. Though still prosperous, this age saw the first cracks in humanity's relationship with the divine. Mortals began to turn away from their creators, and the gods, angered by their impudence, began to withdraw their favor. The Bronze Age followed, a time of war and violence. Humanity, once peaceful, now turned their ingenuity toward conflict, forging weapons of bronze and waging brutal battles against one another. It was an era of strength, but also of destruction, as brother turned against brother, and the world was bathed in blood. And finally, the Iron Age, the darkest and most desperate of all. Humanity, now far from the gods, lived in a world of hardship, where toil and suffering were constant companions. The age of heroes had passed, and in its place, mortals struggled against the harshness of life, no longer able to rely on divine intervention. Though the ages of man descended into darkness, one thing persisted: hope. A gift left by Pandora, it endured through the ages, flickering faintly, but never extinguished. Humanity, despite its suffering, had within it the capacity for resilience, for renewal, for a future still unwritten. Thousands of years have passed since these ancient tales were first whispered through the hills and temples of Greece, yet the legacy of these myths is as alive today as it was then. For the ancient Greeks, these stories weren't just entertainment, they were a means of understanding the very fabric of their world. The myths provided explanations for the cosmos, the divine, and the mysteries that surrounded life itself. In a world filled with uncertainty, these myths offered order, a way to comprehend the forces of nature and the origins of life. Thunderstorms weren't just weather. They were the wrath of Zeus. The sea's violent waves weren't mere tides, but the work of Poseidon's trident. For every question about the universe, there was a myth, a story that gave shape to the unknown. Through these divine dramas, the Greeks explored the concepts of power, justice, love, and tragedy, using gods and heroes to reflect their own hopes and fears. But these stories were not confined to the ancient world. Greek mythology's influence has rippled through centuries, shaping the very core of Western culture. From the grand canvases of Renaissance painters to the epic poems of Homer and Virgil, these myths have provided a wellspring of inspiration for artists and writers throughout history. Even today, the echoes of these ancient stories can be found in modern storytelling. The hero's journey, the tragic flaw, the struggle between good and evil. All of these timeless themes have their roots in the mythology of Greece. From Star Wars to The Lord of the Rings, modern myths continue to draw upon the structure of ancient tales, reminding us that the questions these stories asked are as relevant now as they were thousands of years ago. As the stars continue to shine over the earth, so too does the legacy of Greek mythology continue to illuminate our understanding of the world. These myths, born from the imaginations of an ancient people, transcend time. They are the stories of gods and mortals, of triumph and downfall, of chaos and order. But more than anything, they are stories of humanity. Though the gods of Mount Olympus may no longer walk among us, their stories remain, etched into the very soul of Western culture, reminding us of the enduring power of myth and the timeless questions we still seek to answer. Did you enjoy the journey through myth and legend? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic tales.